Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So what I'm going to do today, I will talk about conversation design, which is one of the most important topic, not only from this certification perspective, but overall from a design aspect, right? Because now you must be thinking, yeah, we spoke about so many design, right? Design by ethics, human-centric design. Why do we need another design, right? I mean, why? Right? There are so many concepts out there why in the conversation. Now, the reason why conversation design is important, like ethics design or human-centric design, relationship design, right, where you build software, keeping the customer into consideration, which is always the case in every scenario. But and also, it's very important to have that relationship between the company and the customer, so that the customer will be more willing to invest the time and money in your software, the software which your business make. Now, the same thing goes with the conversation design, right? The conversation design is one design aspect which ensure that whenever a customer interacts with your business, they will get what they want in a fairly decent amount of time, without much frustration or or a lot of hurdles. Now you must be wondering, right? That's a pretty broad, generic term. What exactly does it supposed to mean? Okay, let's say you bought a pressure cooker, right? The pressure cooker, to cook meat. I hope you, everyone knows what pressure cooker, right? So let's say you bought a pressure cooker from XYZ company, and XYZ company involves in manufacturing pressure cooker, right? And they're pretty famous. Let's say you as a customer bought a pressure cooker, and after using it for, let's say, a couple of times, you realize that it got some issue, and it's within a warranty period, right? And so you contacted the customer support, and you gave them your actual purchase order number, and you have to explain to them what's wrong, and the customer support said, okay, sweet, and they decide to put you on hold, and then put you on hold for 20 minutes, and they say, okay, sorry, you reached the wrong department, let me transfer you to another department. And let's say they keep on doing that to you for like half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. What would your reaction be as a customer who said, screw that, right? I will never ever gonna buy stuff from the company. See, now this has kind of caused a frustration, and that frustration, you know, triggered by whatever emotion, right? And that reaction caused customer to make a decision. I will never indulge in any future business or any kind of transaction with this company, which is not a really good sign, right? Now think about a different way, right? Let's say your company website has a self-service chat, like using a bot, and the bot will say, how can I help you? Okay, so first thing with the bot, right, fill in the first name, last name, and the query. Okay, so let's say you filled in, and then the next question the bot will ask, is that about the generic inquiry, is that about uh, something, an issue with the product, or different questions. So let's say the customer picks issue with the product. Okay, and now they will give you, okay, choose out of four items which is right. They say pressure cooker, all right? Now, uh, item faulty, there are, let's say, four options, right? Item faulty, um, issue with the power plug, issue with the buttons on the, um, oh, or issue with the pressure. I'm just making it up, but just for the sake of argument, right? Let's say a customer says issue with the pressure, right? And then they will say, okay, let me transfer you to the technician who can help. And let's say you got a technician on chat, and you gave all the information, and technician said, sweet, we'll replace your pressure cooker, and we will get it done free of cost for you in, say, 5 business days, working days, right? Now think about this conversation, and think about the conversation the person had in the past talking to a customer service agent. Which one do you think is a better one? Obviously you will see the second one, right? Though the second one can be improved, like instead of have going through different menu options, still better than putting someone in hold for an hour and still not getting any resolution, right? So that's where a conversation design comes into picture. When you design a solution, right? When you design your customer service option, you need to. It's not just about hard coding, a few values, right? Or it's not about putting a personalized voice message or using automated menu, right? It's about understanding the customer requirement and to see how easy a customer can get a resolution to their problem. That should be your main focus of attention, right? Because obviously you're building a bot, you're building an automated response. Your main intention should be a better customer interaction, happy customer, and and also the customer should feel that okay, I will definitely do business with them next time, right? That's the key. Now, um, you might have had experience calling banks, right? I mean, I have a lot of experience calling bank. So, for instance, I call ANZ Bank because that's the bank I do mostly with. I have BNZ, I have other stuff, other banks. But I just give you a typical example of ANZ. ANZ automation, automated phone system is really good, right? It will tell you, can you tell me? But it will give you menu options, right? When you call them and you pick and choose, and it will direct to the right team or person. This way, I don't have to wait for a longer time, and I get whatever I want in my first conversation when I have with ANZ, right? So, which is great because they have actually thought about conversation design in the product, which is really good. This is exactly, the kind of service I like. I remember back in the days, right? When you used to, like, I remember, I'll tell you one very personal experience. It was back in 2010, right? I was in London and I had an issue with the Dell laptop. And I called the customer service and they routed to India, which is fine. Uh, now, I explained to the person, hey, I have an issue with this. It's not turning on. And that person tried to tell me, oh, can you unplug the power? I said to him, mate, the way I said, right, I think I have an issue with the power thing. This other step I did. I took off my battery, I put it back on, and I tried to swap with the different power cable. Even that didn't work, and um, and I didn't want it to open the laptop because it's still within the warranty, so I don't want it to violate that stuff, right? So I just took the battery off and put it back in, thinking it could be a battery issue. It could be a battery issue, or could be something to do with the motherboard or the switch circuit inside it. I said I did a few things. And unfortunately, the technician didn't even pay attention to what I said. And he asked me to do exactly the same step I did. I said, do you even pay attention to what I said? And he was saying, no, and I got extremely pissed. I said, fuck it, man. I just hung up the phone. It was extremely pathetic experience. So then I tried to call again. Then I think I routed to Manila, Philippines. I remember because you can make out from an accent, right? People try to fake the accent, but you can make out, right? And because I work with so many Filipinos, I can make out their accent. And the gentleman, first thing he said to me, right? Can you tell me what all the stuff you did? Pretty good start, right? I said, why the heck the other, guy didn't ask me, right? I was pretty pissed, and I thought, you know, but I said, well, these are the things he did. Oh, so very well. Then he asked me to do a few things, and then he said, I think there's an issue with the power supply inside the computer. It might have something. So what I'll do, he said, I'll. He didn't. He said he will arrange someone to, come and pick it up and have a look, right? So, which was pretty cool. I said, all right. So he took my address, and because it was a company lab, right? So I said you can send someone to the business to pick it up, and they pretty much did a good job to do that, right? It just though it sounds like a very simple example, and I had a similar issue with the Dell computer in New Zealand as well, right? And it was a part of the business I was involved, and the guy came and we arranged someone from Dell to come and fix that stuff, which is fine. The IT guy did that for us, which is fine. So the reason why I mentioned that, right? If you're building a conversation design solution, right, you have to understand, right? You need to understand what customer is after, right? Even if you're building a call center, you have to very it it's a kind of conversation design, right? Because I'm interacting with the business, and I would appreciate people to pay attention to what I'm trying to say, right? Because I don't have 50. Because sometimes, like for instance, a doctor calls, right? A doctor charge freaking $400 an hour if you're a surgeon, and it's a shitty waste of the person's time, right? If you don't even pay attention to it. Yeah, you might be making $20 an hour, but that's not the point. The point is, you know, if you're in this line of business, you should be paying attention to what a customer is saying. That's where now we have artificial boards and Einstein board and other kind of stuff which you can integrate to your business, which is great, right? And that's why I personally believe conversation design is important. It can make or break your business. It is that critical, right? And I'm, that's one of the reasons why the Salesforce mentioned this stuff. Now, how does it relate to Salesforce? You might wonder, right? So, if you are building, let's say, a community portal, right, you can integrate Einstein to it to give suggestions to the user, to chat, so that they can figure out most of the thing by themselves, rather than they have to call the customer support and wait in queue for longer hours, right? Sometimes it happens depending upon the customers they're trying to solve, trying to interact with the case agents, right? So it can take longer. Sometimes it take only 5 minutes. So it depends on the call volume or the case volume, whatever you can say. So that's why whenever you're building it, right, you just pay attention to all of this stuff and try to build, even if you're building a generic solution, just think from different aspect which way a customer can get a better service, right? So that's the reason why I wanted to cover this topic. So that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Adios.